Hello everyone, in this video I will explain how to create and publish a process. So first I select a group and then I click on a new and I name the process recruitment process, and the type is public, so in user panel it is available, and I save it. Then I go to edit it. So in this page you can add elements. It's based on BPMN IO, so it's easy to work with it. I will add two user tasks. So each activity has a 6 type. As a default it is task, but you cannot assign form to task, so for this you have to select user task. As you can see, user task, so you can assign a form to activities or task, and I name it add request, and I name it check request and set an appointment. Then I will add, so as you can see, I added a gateway. A gateway is an element that you can define a condition, so whether the manager approve or reject it or not. And I name each element because it's very important. I want to send an email to the requester when a manager approves it. So, and after that I need the user to approve or reject the request, the appointment. I suggest you that to name all the elements, because it helps you to understand what you design. And I name this activity ever requester, and I select user task, and if the user reject, it should goes to check request and set appointment again. So no, and it's finished. So I go to the design form. In this page you can create forms for assigning to user task. I call the first form add request, and in this page I add 3 rows. This icon is a row and this icon is a accordion. You can assign add accordion or a row widget. And I added 3 inputs. I call each input, I name it each input and its first name, it is last name, and it is birth date. All of them are required. As you can see, you can define the required of the input, and you can assign icon to your input. It's required. It is required. If an input is required, you can see it shows a red border in the right of the input. I add expected salary input. It's required. Then I will add email. The user has to insert its email. As you can see, you can change the type of the input, and I change it to the email, and it is required. So the Easy-Bpm form generator will validate this form. At the end, I will add a uploader, and I change the column size of the form generator, and I put it 12 because it's used Bootstrap version 4, so you can use Bootstrap classes. As you can see, I assign the recruitment documents. I will explain what is recruitment document. So in the next step, I have to define a variable. You have to be careful. We have two types of variable: local variable, entity variable, and for saving, and another variable for getting. It is query variable. You have to, in this video, I will explain only a local variable. So I define and you can change the type of the variable and its local entity and query. I selected it. As you can see in the binding tab, you have two types of the binding: get from and save into. And if you want to save variable, you have to select this. If you want to get variable for filling an input or a widget, you have to select this. And I will do it for all the input. It is text. I will select last name, and I will select birth date. Okay, for birth date, I made a mistake. I have to add date picker. So we have date picker, and the time type of the date picker is date. The format is okay, and I go to the binding. I added birth date variable, and each variable has to have a name and the type. It's date time, and I select both get from and save into. Expected salary, and I will add another variable for expected salary. So it's decimal type. You can select decimal type. And email. I will add and this is the end of the design in this page, and I will add another page for a manager. So I call this page check request and set appointment. In this page I will add two rows. The first row, and for the first row I want to add form widget. Using form widget you can load another form into this form. So I will select add request, what I want to make it read-only so the manager cannot change it, and I will add appointment date input, so it is a date picker, and the type is date time, it's required, and the binding the type is date time and it's local. And another field is a status. The manager wants to approve or reject it. For this input I will add a drop down, so I can make it drop down. I name it a status and make it required. So for each drop down can have option. The first one is approved, the second one is reject. You can load options from a table, but I will explain it in the next video. For this video is enough. I have to bind it to a variable. So I will set get from and save into. Okay, I will save this form and I go to the next form. I will check it. Okay, I save it. I will add the last form. As you can see, I check it showing the overview. I will show you what it is. So like check request, I make it 12. So I will add form widget and I will load add request as a read-only. Save it. I will add appointment dates, date picker. It's read-only, it's date time and it is read-only. I bound it to the appointment update. The last widget is a status like manager page. I add a drop down. I name it status and it's required, and we have options which are approve and reject. As default it's an approve. For saving I will add var user status is the number. The binding of the inputs or widget are very important. Do not okay, it's finished, and I go back to the designer, process designer, and I will assign form to the user task. So I click on this icon, and in this I will add a step, add request. I will select add request, and the access type is role. The type of access is static, and the role is requester. It means all user can start this process. I will do that for this user task, and check requests, and the access type is role, is static, and the role is manager. The manager can do that. I will do that for this. Ever requester. For assigning a user task to the requester only, you can select, you have to select the requester in the role. So for sending email, I have to do something like I make it email from current user, and to I can assign this to a variable like var email, and the subject could be appointment, and you can add body of the email, and inside this you can add your variable. So Easy-Bpm will replace it with the value of the variable in this format, and I will save it. So, and the gateway, you can define condition. I will show you. I will add two conditions. Go to the finish. If the status variable is equal to the 1 or to the 2, which is reject, and go to the email. If the status variable is 1, so I will do that for this. You can select on this icon or this, and I will add two type. Go to the finish, if user status is equal, greater than, less than, not equal, less and equal than, but it's equal to the 1, it means that the user approved. And go to the check request and set appointment again if the user reject that. It means 2. I will add it reject. Approve. Approve. I change the name of the rule, so I make it more appropriate. And this is the end. I go to the user panel to test that, but before that I should start or publish the process. So I click on the publish, so it's done successfully. I will go to the user panel, so you can see that I can, as a BPMS manager or as another user, I can start that. If we can see that in the process, you can see that I can start a task, recruitment process. I will start that, so you can see that this form is required. I test that. Third, expected salary, email, test. I fill all the form, and as you can see, I can select files like CV and motivation letter. I test that, both of them. I just select that. So as you can see, the task will come to the next step. As you can see in the action, the requester start the task, and it's in the check request and set appointment. So the manager, who is me, can approve or reject it. So I set an appointment, and I will approve it, or I can download the file. So I approve that, and this goes to the requester. So I can see it's in my cart tab. You can see it's in my dashboard, my task. So as you can see, in this time I have an appointment. So I will approve that, and I will save it, and it's finished. It's gone, and I can see it's in my request as an archive. I can see it, and I can see the overview. As I mentioned earlier, I checked the show it in overview in ever requester form, so I can see the ever requester form as a read-only. in the overview of the request, so I can see the users. And if I go to the admin panel in the task, I can delete tasks, and I can delete all the tasks from the memory. As you saw, I added folders. I added 2 files, CV and motivation later. In the folder page, you can define folder and the document. So when you assign a document or a folder to an uploader or a download widget, you can download or upload that files. So it's very easy to use. This is the end of the video. In the next video, I will explain how to create and publish a process using entity variable.